for that card, which is important. Um, Not that the card's important, I could totally cut it, but this was the build-around card, actually. Yeah. Oh, the build-around cards are company and core, but I'm saying, like, the thing I wanted my company deck to do was the Mirror Weave, so 7-2 split seems correct. Yeah. What's neat is you don't even have to be blue, by the way, to just for all you other company players out there, if you want to go into Spike Feeder Archangel, you don't even necessarily have to be in blue to do this. This card you can run on a white deck. So what's cool about the Mirror Weave Spike Feeder interaction is it really is a one-side sweeper, especially if you've already moved some counters around. Something to note is you will lose creatures too if you don't have counters on them. So for example, if I was to Mirror Weave a Feeder or a Frogling or one of these creatures, the Elder or the Graft Mage, I don't know about this guy. I don't know about this guy. You do lose all of your creatures that didn't have 1/1 counters on them. So like how many creatures actually is that? Like you could lose a Hierarch, you could lose a, and that's like the thing, is like you don't want to, like you want to be doing like things like Glenderlaundra Archmage or Medley Mage against the combo decks of the format, or Thalia. Against the non-combo decks of the format, this is a fine play. You just need to make sure that you, like, and that's where Kitchen Finks is like, wants to be main deckable because you get to keep it. You do get to keep it after a Mirror Wave. I think this actually might be where we need to go. Finks is just so good in these decks too. I'm not all that excited about the Graft Mage. I think that 6 pieces is fine. Like a 6-2 split is fine. Like Dungrove, Feeders, and then some number of Frogling. How about instead of the Graft Mage, we just start mainboarding more Finks? That way, after I Mirror Weave, we have something to show for it. We have something that's left over, other than specifically just our creatures that have 1/1 counters on them. Angel says, just go ahead and mainboard a Malira. You can. Raylin says you can't target Geist as legendary. I'm not aiming to target the Geist. Why would I want to target Geist with the Mirror Weave? Why would you want to copy Geist anyway? We want to be copying these, so it's like a one-side sweeper. Or I guess you could like copy a bird, and then they have a bunch of birds. Correct. The Archmage would live through it too. I mean, like, yeah, we have other things that are living through this, so it's not. Yes, there are some creatures we're going to annihilate on our side too, but it's still as long as we're left with some stuff, the Mirror Weave has value. The Mirror Weave has potential. So I think it's a really cool card to brew around. Yeah, this might be a better build. You like mainboarding the Malira? So you like this? Okay. It gives us more sideboard spots. I mean, now I can just go back to running the 2 sideboard paths. Does that up my blue count? Blue count has actually gone down because we sideboarded the Geist. So I'd like to change that about the deck if I can. It's okay if we become chunkier on the 3s, because here's the thing about the mana curvature for something like a Geist. Like, something about company decks is they really want to be doing that. You actually just want to do that to your deck. Ideally, when you play these company decks, you almost always have the turn 1 Noble or Bird, and if it doesn't die, which is asking a lot, you get to do any of these plays turn 2. So you don't necessarily have to curve your 3s in this. Obviously, we can't do this turn 2. But yeah, you want to be doing this on turn 3. You want these to happen turn 2. And then this makes this a turn 4 play. That's how this is more playable in the format, because you're shrinking down the amount of mana it requires to make these plays happen. Oh, absolutely it is 9. I don't think so, aggro. Yeah, but it's also like what I wanted to build around. So like 9, while we can't necessarily cut it because I want to test it, we can cut it later. Yeah. I mean, a better way to play the deck is just to play like how J-Bone plays Company. Just play the Viserys or Wombo Jumbo. We're winning through combo, damage, or value. All 3. The deck has the ability to beat down with Gavany value. It has the ability to go infinite with Archangel and Feeder. It also has the ability to just search up an Archangel. If anything, I'd like to run more Angel's Herald, but yeah. Jack says yes. I remember brewing with Mirrorweave on Biovisionary. Cast it on the wrong turn. No, Dabbing Ball. No. More Froglings would be great. Graft can save my other creatures from the Mirrorweave too. Okay, so just more Frogling. Okay, so sideboard the Geist, and then maybe Dungrove is risky because this is again really much better when we know our opponents are I'm gonna sideboard the Malira. Hey, give me another Frogling. So give me another Plaxcaster. I think it's really cool. It's one of the reasons I wanted to be in blue besides the super awesome like Medley Mage and Reflector Mage shenanigans. I know a lot of you guys have been hoping that I would brew a Reflector Mage deck. This is it. Outside of the Wizards deck. This was kind of my... Like, okay, I had a couple cards I wanted to check mark. I wanted to brew a deck based around Mirrorweave. I wanted to brew a deck that had Reflector Mage, Medley Mage synergy. If anything, we could run more copies of Mage, like Reflector and Meddling, in the 75 somewhere. That might be sweet. Olin doesn't like the main board Dungrove. I'm just worried we don't have enough enablers for the Mirrorweaves, Olin. I think what would happen... Okay, if we sideboard the Dungrove, or let the Dungrove just replace the Geist, by the way, that's also another option. Just remember, I'm only running about 5 or 6 Forest, but it still gets to a larger size than Geist, and Geist is hard to get in certain matchups. Do realize if we do that, I need to run fewer Mirrorweave in the main board, because now the only enablers I have are just Feeders and Frogling. But then we can run more. You get to run more Medley Mage plus Reflector Mage wonderfulness. So yeah, it still curves. Run a Master Biomancer. Biomancer's sweet. Not a bad thought, Mike. 9 says blah blah. So many. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to run more. Well, in fairness, though, hang on. In fairness, I've seen company lists run how many non-company hits? My buddy J-Bone was playing a list that had this many misses. He had about 10 misses on the company. How many hits do we have? We have this many. We had 26 hits, which is actually more than some... I'd like to get that number up to about 28. This is actually... some company lists, no offense, 9-ball, run only about 23 hits for their company. I'm actually running a decent amount, but you can say that if you want. Skyrider? I don't necessarily agree. I've seen plenty of company lists run way less than 26 hits. Ooh. That's some spice. Oh, wow. Jesus. I think the problem with Elf is we can't put it into it. You have to just cast it. Yeah. Master says, I want you to see you want to see Ranger Vios in here. No, we need more company hits. 9-ball's right. The other 2 cards should be something that I could hit on company. Why don't we run more Medley Mage and we run more Reflector Mage? Because that's a synergy that I really wanted to see shine in the deck, and I think if we just have more copies of it, we'll see it more often. So Medley Mage plus Reflector Mage. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. That also gives us more blue creatures to more easily pull off the Archangels. Or this one, but... Just run a Bounding Krasis. Krasis is cool. But I don't necessarily agree. Just run a Bramaz. I don't have a Bramaz. I like Bramaz, though. I don't have one. Seems decent. I don't have one, though. But if I had one, sure. I'd test it. Alright, so now I get to break everybody's hearts. BrewSpy the Heartbreaker. Basically, there's no way we're going to play this deck unless, like, we like start saving up for it now and we get to play it like next year. I don't know. It's really that expensive. I'm not even just saying that for effect. I'm not saying that for you guys to open your pockets because that's not the goal of saying that. I don't want you to because this deck would be very expensive to build, and it excites me. I think it'd be a really cool, opportunity to play green. I'm usually not that excited about green. This deck could actually make me excited about green. But basically between this and especially these and these. It's just so expensive. But I could price it for you guys if you really want to know. I guess just for my reference. Just because I kind of want to know, let's export it. 9 says, I want to see it in action. Me too. But and that's very kind of you, 9. I hope you don't think I was being too harsh on you when I said I don't know if I agree when you said we don't have enough company targets. And actually I took your advice there, didn't I? I said we need to add more targets, right? So now we're up to 28. We're on 28 things to hit on company, which is pretty decent. Even after we sideboard, we still got how many more hits to bring in? Outside of the Dispel, the Negate, and the Mirror Weave, these are all more hits for the company. So you need to be very careful, 9. Even though I'm not really a company player, I'm fully aware that a lot of company lists will sideboard improperly and they bring in a bunch of stuff that they can't even company. That's why I didn't like the paths. I'd rather like tempo creatures, or maybe we can run like a Fiend Hunter. Might be a fine option if we want to do that. Maybe instead of the third Finks, you run like a sideboard Fiend Hunter if you just have to answer a creature. Instead of maybe running like paths. Like you just don't really want to overload the deck with non-creature spells. And I agree. Like Mirror Weave, Glen, Archangel, like these are all things, both Archangels, those are all things that this is all stuff the company doesn't hit, right? So we've got 28 things, so we got, okay, like these 16 lands have nothing to do with the company. The other extra companies of itself are also misses, so we've got this many whiffs. We technically do still have 32 cards that aren't helping us with our company. You need to be aware of that. As games go along, you'll have fewer chances to hit on your company. Your deck's going to be more waterlogged with this stuff, so it's something that we absolutely have to keep in mind, 9. But I hope you don't have to agree with me, but I at least hope that you agree that we're both thinking actively about the card. And yeah, I'm very cognizant that we don't want to whiff. So that would be like worst case scenario. Company hitting Flicker Wisp and Hunter seems like gas. Scab Ruinator, says Ray. You can hit that off a company. You can also cord into it. Yeah, Scab is neat. Yeah, Ruinator. I think I have one. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is really spicy. Yeah, that might be fun. Wow, that thing's massive. That might be really cool tech. It's blue-blue, though, which worries me, but that might be fun to test. Meddling Mage does seem more of a sideboard card. Maybe instead of the Aegis of the Gods. That's too cute. Probably over Aegis of the Gods. Well, I mean, maybe it's not. You could run like put the other Meddling Mage in the sideboard, and then maybe Fiend Hunter's more main deckable. I don't know. Maybe Thalia wants to be in the sideboard. I don't know. It's a lot of different configurations for this. It's a cool toolbox deck though, and it'll have some worse matchups than like alternative company decks. It'll have some better matchups potentially because of you have like some sideboard counter magic potential. Maybe instead of any dispels, you just run multiple negates. I don't know yet. That might be a better configuration. You bring up excellent points. I'm not trying to shoot anything down. Yeah, I just want you to be aware, 9ball, that I'm not ignoring your comment because you're right. You're right. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, I do have to limit some of the options for the deck. So, yeah, the Scab seems really cool. I mean, I did cut the Geist. I was pretty adamant about the Geist of Saint Traft. I cut it because I'm worrying about the same things you are. So. Oh, thanks, Archangel. I actually got my car working, so that was the worst day. Like, everything fell apart. Like, I was sick, there was no Brews Day, my car wasn't starting, and I had to fix it, and it was just a really bad day. So, if you're wondering why Brews Day is happening on a Wednesday instead of Tuesday, well, it's technically now Thursday, but a lot of bad things happened. I'm still kicking, it's fine. So these are things that can't be company, these are all companyable things. Lore Scale Codal, it's